The secret to unlocking the hero instinct. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Lao Tzu. Personal development takes courage. When you chose to embark on this journey with me, you made a choice that tells me something about you. You have courage, and I'm willing to bet that at least some of that courage comes from your ability to love deeply. In fact, you probably have someone in mind right now, someone who brings out the courage to love with all your heart. I hope that's the case, because there are few things more beautiful. Relationships are beautiful, so for me, it's a great honor to be invited into your relationship world. Let's begin by talking about how to use the hero instinct. You've heard it works, and something about it just makes sense based on your own life experiences, so you're probably eager to use it on your man. That makes perfect sense. In fact, there's nothing that would make me happier. But first, I want to ensure that you understand one key to making the hero instinct work. If you want this principle to transform your relationships, it's crucial that I first let you in on a secret. It's the secret ingredient that brings the hero instinct to life. Here's the secret. The hero instinct is actually a bridge. It's not a technique. It's not a trick that you use on a man, and it's not something that you use once and then watch to see if it will fix all the current and future relationship problems. Rather, it's a special kind of bridge between a man and a woman. It allows men and women to find common ground and form a deep emotional connection. Let me show you how that happens. Men and women both want relationships, but they desire different things from relationships. And here's where the hero instinct changes everything. It bridges the gap between his desires and your desires. It makes it possible for both partners to experience the most satisfying and exhilarating romance. The hero instinct builds the intensity of your relationship, and it does that by ramping up desire, and by giving you the ability to meet that desire as it arises in your relationship. Don't worry if you don't understand how that works right now. I'll be walking alongside you and explaining everything as we go through this course material step by step. In fact, I should emphasize that the hero instinct is not a bridge you cross once. Rather, it's a bridge you create over and over again. I want this bridge to become a well-worn path in your relationship. If we look at this bridge 1 year from today, I want to see evidence that you and your man have traipsed across it over and over, leaving a well-worn path. Because if you do that, something amazing is going to happen. You're going to discover the kind of passion so many people long for, but so few people ever achieve. And the reason is simple. We are drawn towards people who meet our needs. And that's as true for you as it is for him. Have you ever noticed how some people trigger an extra powerful feeling of attraction inside you? And sometimes it's hard to say exactly why. I mean, sure, you could point out 1 or 2 features that you like about his face, or you could describe the impression you had of his personality, but there's often something more, something that's hard to describe. And that's the effect that we're going for. When he interacts with you, we want him to feel something powerful, something that tugs at his instincts, an undeniable desire to have more of you in his life. And that happens when you repeatedly trigger his hero instinct. Triggering his hero instinct is not a one-time event. Rather, it's a process. It's a way of interacting that unfolds over time. And that's why I need to teach you how to create the hero instinct bridge over and over again in lots of different kinds of relationship situations. Some women, after hearing my story about Rachel, simply ask for the 12 words Rachel texted to her man. They think of these words like some kind of magic spell that they can copy and paste into their own relationship. But it doesn't work that way. Imagine this was a course about flirting, and I told you the 12 words that worked like magic for someone else at a very specific point in her relationship. And imagine I told you to simply go out and use those same 12 words over and over again whenever you needed to boost the fun and intimacy between you and your man. I'm sure you can see why that would backfire. Flirting is an art form, and it emerges in different ways depending on the flavor of the moment. To be a master of flirting, you must first learn the underlying patterns that make it work, and then you can use that understanding to fluidly weave the magic of flirting into your daily interactions. It's like that with the hero instinct. There's an underlying pattern. Learn to perceive it, and you'll have a special kind of relationship skill, one that you can keep on using for the rest of your life. Women who can trigger a man's hero instinct are able to do so for one reason and one reason alone. They are able to perceive the underlying relationship patterns that make it work. They can create this bridge anytime they want because they understand the underlying relationship patterns, and that allows them to create the bridge seemingly out of thin air. That's what I'm going to teach you how to do. Yes, I'll give you some examples of exact phrases that you can adapt to your situation, but I don't want you to make the mistake of skipping to those phrases without first learning the principles for success with my method. This guide is really a relationship mastery guide, but it's focused on one very special kind of relationship power, the power to draw a man toward you. Not by sheer effort, not through good communication, and not by impressing him. Nope, this power doesn't come from within. It doesn't come from your own willpower, beauty, or even your deep ability to love another human being. Rather, it comes from the bridge between his needs and your needs. I call it bridging, because when you do it right, it's a bridge to everything you want. Here's how bridging works. This is the fast and furious version. You'll get all the details later, but I just want to give you the big picture first. That way you can see where we're headed and why the details matter. Men have this thing called the hero instinct. It's an instinctual drive that causes him to thrive in certain kinds of relationships. He wants to be with someone who lets him express this instinct. But it's not just a relationship instinct. The hero instinct impacts many areas of a man's life. He's drawn towards opportunities that satisfy his hero instinct. That's true whether or not those opportunities appear within the context of a romantic relationship. In other words, he can get this need met outside the relationship. That's a big problem, and it's something that you'll learn more about later in this course. Women thrive in relationships where there's deep emotional intimacy. Bonding and connection are the rewards that women seek from a relationship. In relationships, women want to feel like they matter. Like most women, you want to be at the center of this unfolding life story. You want to build a shared story that becomes more beautiful over time as you build memories together. But here's the big problem. Men don't always give you a central position in their unfolding life story. Men often treat women as an accessory, a side benefit, a hobby. And they do this because their hero instinct needs are being met outside the relationship. In fact, their needs are often better met outside the relationship than within. That's bad news for a relationship. Yet this is the sad reality I've encountered over and over again as a professional relationship coach. Many women actually block a man's hero instinct. It's accidental, of course, but the damaging effect is just the same. He feels less passionate, less interested, and he doesn't even know why. Fortunately, bridging overcomes this problem. Bridging works by channeling his male instincts toward his relationship with you. Rather than fighting against his instinct, like most women do, you will simply redirect the powerful flow of his hero instinct. This is the essence of bridging. It's a skill you can learn, a relationship concept you will master over time. If you will let me, I would like to be your mentor and guide. I would like to share the secrets of this method with you. You've already taken the most important step. You've secured lifetime access to this relationship guide, and I hope you'll come back to it over and over again. But let me remind you of something important. You don't need to read this entire guide tonight, because I'm not going to let you simply forget about it. Over time, you'll receive plenty of email reminders from me to keep developing your skill. And during the coming weeks and months, I will share some of my best ideas with you about relationships. Some of those ideas will be reminders about the methods that you'll discover in this relationship guide. But I have additional material to share with you beyond the contents of this guide. So think of this learning process as a journey. Like most journeys, there will be periods of frustration and disappointment. Right now, you have the initial energy and excitement of discovering something new, and I'm excited for you, but I want to ensure that you see this process through, because it's the people who persist that write back to tell me about the incredible happiness they found. Here's what I've observed. These observations come from feedback from other women just like you, women who took this course with a strong will to succeed. They start out with a burst of excitement. They absorb my best ideas from this relationship guide, and they begin to look for opportunities to put those ideas to use. Then, disaster strikes. It happens when you're just starting to get glimpses of the hero instinct. You begin to see it at work in the life of a man that you care about. So naturally, you try a little bridging. You try to channel some of that hero instinct, and he completely ignores you. Or worse, he looks at you like you have two heads. Please understand that this experience is perfectly normal. The hero instinct has instantaneous effects, but your talent for bridging will develop over time. So when you feel frustrated or disappointed, plan on sticking it out, because it's often your very next attempt that surprises you with recurring waves of deep interest and attention from the guy you like, all because of something that you almost didn't say because it didn't seem like a very big deal. One week, your man may seem distracted by work or other concerns. He barely notices you, and your attempts at bridging seem to be going nowhere. Stick with it, because this is a perfectly normal part of the learning process. And consider this: the times when he does not respond can lead to your greatest breakthroughs for understanding how the hero instinct works. Don't be surprised if you suddenly see the pattern shortly after a frustrating experience. You may suddenly feel as though you can turn on or off his energy and interest like a faucet. Those experiences will come if you persist with this method. To make sure you achieve that result, I want you to plan ahead. I want you to take the following phrase and store it in your memory for later use. Every time you get discouraged, I want you to repeat this mantra to yourself. I don't want a mediocre relationship. I want an extraordinary one. So I'm willing to do extraordinary things. Right now, that means persisting when others would give up. I once heard a motivational speaker say that 85% of all the success we will experience in life comes down to the quality of our relationships. There are people who succeed at work, wealth, fitness, and many other worthy goals, but none of them feel like a success when their personal relationships are falling to pieces. So I challenge you to put your effort into the things that really matter. Relationships matter. That's my belief, and I know you share it too, or else you wouldn't be investing in your personal development through a relationship course like this. So the next time you feel disappointed, get right back on the horse. Take a short break if you need, but never let setbacks define the course of your life. Remember the mantra and push forward, because the real life benefits of a committed, caring relationship start to really pay off when you push beyond moments of frustration or short-term setbacks. I want your romantic life to flourish, and I want you to use my relationship secrets to make it happen, because every time a relationship succeeds, the world becomes a happier place. And the best part? Using my relationship secrets will be fun. I won't ask you to do anything that doesn't feel right, and there will be no manipulation, no fake stuff, no pretending to be someone you're not. Dig into this material, and I think you'll agree, you can use these methods and still be 100% true to yourself. We're going to build your powers of attraction, but to do that, I need to open your eyes so that you can see the patterns of the hero instinct. The hero instinct is at work every time you interact with a man, so I want you to be able to see that pattern. I want you to understand it deeply. That way, you can choose how and when to use it in your relationships with men. And that's why I need you to commit to something hard. I want you to finish this course. It'll take some time and some reading, but it will be worth it. Because if you persist, your mind will begin to see the hidden patterns all around you. Give me enough time to influence your thoughts, and you'll begin to see the pattern for yourself. You'll see the nuances of how everything fits together. You'll understand how a man thinks. You'll get it in a way that others don't. And as a result, you will have the ability to pull at a man's instincts, inspiring his deep devotion. What is the hero instinct? The hero instinct is something all men have buried deep within their DNA. It pulls them towards relationship situations that make them feel like a hero. But it's more than that. It goes to the deepest desire all people feel, the desire for meaning and purpose. You see, unlike women, men don't automatically get their need met for meaning and fulfillment just by being in a relationship. In fact, a man cannot rest until he gets the feeling that he is rising to a challenge and finding a niche in life where he feels successful. Once in a while, a romantic relationship with a woman meets that need. And let me tell you, those are beautiful relationships. The man pours his heart into that kind of relationship, and as a result, both partners flourish. But that's extremely unusual in this modern era. Men often get into relationships, but they rarely feel fulfilled in them. And that's because his hero instinct is pulling him in another direction. It tells him to seek adventure, or worse, to seek out a different relationship where he can be looked up to as a provider, as a success, as a hero. If his relationship with you does not satisfy the instinctual drives of his hero instinct, there will always be something missing. A part of him will always be trying to pull away, trying to seek something else or someone else, even though he may still be in love with you. The day I met with Rachel at the coffee shop, I recognized something missing in her relationship with Mike. But even then, I underestimated how powerful this one missing piece can be. I asked Rachel to try something simple. I wanted her to send Mike a signal, a special kind of signal, one that brought out a different side of him, one that triggered a dormant part of his personality, at least as it related to her. Now, keep in mind, this was just the start. But the signal that triggered Mike's hero instinct came at just the right moment. Rachel's 12 words? They were simply this: "May I please ask your advice really quick? It won't take long." Instead of presenting him with a permanent choice like, "Do you want to start talking again?" she took a shortcut by triggering his hero instinct. Giving a bit of advice is not about the relationship, so it was non-threatening. Mike asked her why she wanted to talk. She responded, "I need your help." When he said, "With what?" she responded with, "Making a decision." When he said, "What kind of decision?" she said, "Something I thought you would know better than me. Do you mind if I call you really quick?" He was curious, but he also wanted to step into the helper role that she had just laid open before him. He felt drawn to the problem solver role, the hero with a special inside knowledge. He felt compelled to respond to her text, and it sparked an interaction that caused his mind to reopen a closed door. You can probably guess why that helps. Once you've got your foot in the door, anything is possible. It all started with a simple 12-word text message. "May I please ask your advice really quick? It won't take long." Phrases like this seem so simple, yet they have an amazing amount of hidden power because of the way they control human psychology. It worked for Rachel. It gave her the opening she needed. Mike's hero instinct was activated, and that was enough to change the way he pictured Rachel in his life. This relationship guide teaches you how to influence his emotions using the hero instinct. But imagine the impact you can have once you get really good at this skill. This course teaches a skill that will be valuable in all your relationships with men for the rest of your life. It's not just a single idea. It's a decoding tool that allows you to understand the results you're getting with the man in your life. As such, this course is like a key. It's a key that unlocks a whole new world of possibilities for your romantic life. I hope you enjoy your romantic adventure and return to this course several times as the circumstances of your relationship unfold over time. In this relationship mastery course, you'll learn how a man thinks. You'll learn about the stuff men never admit they want, and you'll begin to see the patterns of the hero instinct all around you. Grab hold of that power now. Take it for yourself. Use it. Let me show you how. Ready? Let's go. I'm excited that you've chosen to take this journey with me. I've hired a professional narrator to bring the audio version of this course to life. Enjoy.